Hello y'all, and welcome to YoungFolk Knits. Today is all about free knitting patterns. As with many hobbies, knitting can become very expensive. So I wanted to add this resource of some free knitting patterns that you can utilize in this hobby. Hello y'all, and welcome back to YoungFolk Knits. If you're new here, my name is Casey, and this is a channel where I share all about my love of fiber arts. So there's a lot of knitting, there's spinning, sewing, and whatever else we might get into around here. I occasionally share about living on a small farm here in Arkansas where my husband, myself, and our children are beekeepers. We love raising gardens and animals and chickens and goats and spending time outdoors here in the foothills of the Ozarks. So if any of that sounds like it might be your cup of tea, then make sure and hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on any future video content. Today I want to jump into some free knitting patterns. Hobbies really get expensive, especially when you start getting a deep dive down the rabbit hole of different yarns, different tools like specialized needles, all the different stitch markers that you might like to invest in for fun. There's always something to buy in this hobby, and patterns are another element of the cost of knitting. A lot of times patterns range anywhere from $3 to $5 to $14 for a PDF that you can purchase on different places such as Ravelry, Shopify, or Squarespace websites, different things like that. So I wanted to share some free knitting patterns that might take a little bit of the cost out of your next project. First of all, what am I wearing though? Today I'm wearing a little bit of a self-drafted, a little bit of a hacked dress made from Merchant & Mills linen. This is using the Augustina Boxy Top sewing pattern, which is a free pattern from fabricstore.com. And what I did was crop that shirt pattern, and then I just added a self-drafted skirt, just a gathered skirt at the bottom. So I made this dress last year, and this year I really needed to take this dress in and make some adjustments with it. So I was very much so helped by the sponsor of today's video, which is Skillshare. Skillshare is actually the largest online learning community for creatives like us. It has such a wide breadth and depth of topics that whatever your interest is, you can find a class on it. Like most of y'all, I am multi-craftual, and I love the chance to hone new skills in all these different crafts. I have a deep love of watercolor and gouache. I'm not very good at it, but I still love it, and I'm really excited about some of the classes on Skillshare about this. I'm deep diving more into this area, but what has really been helping me lately are all the different sewing classes. So a new one I have taken is called Sewing Alterations: Fit Shirts to Your Body with Darts and Seam Adjustments. This is a class taught by clothing designer Mara Marks, and it really focuses on how to alter clothing to make it fit you just right. And I think this applies to both our handmade garments and our store-bought garments, because we can take them and make them fit us even better. So I loved the skills that I have picked up in this, and it has really helped me in altering this dress to make it go from something that felt, big and shapeless and boxy to something that fits me very well and I feel very confident in. There's also project-based classes like sew a zippered bag from scratch. So there's just some really great options here on sewing. I also love the fact that the community on Skillshare is so great. You can post your projects from the class into the thread, and you have the ability to get even more inspiration from the other creatives that are on the journey with you. So whatever your interest might be, photography, illustration, graphic design, sewing, there is something for you that you can hone your skills in with these experts and this great community. And that's why I am very excited to partner with Skillshare, because the first 500 people who click the link in my description will get their first month free on Skillshare. So choose your topic and get started today. Thank you again, Skillshare, for sponsoring today's video. All right, y'all, let's jump right into some free knitting patterns. Sometimes when we think of free knitting patterns, we might think of some very simple patterns, new designers, something that you might not even be interested in making. But let me assure you, after doing some research, I have a list here of some amazing knitting patterns that I would pay for. Unfortunately, we can't share them all today, but that's okay, because I've created a bundle on Ravelry where I have linked all these patterns and more. So you can just click on that link in the description and get lots of inspiration. All right, the first one I want to share is actually an accessory, and it is called the Popple Bandana. This is from the Lamb & Kid Designs, which I just want to mention is an excellent resource for free patterns. They have shared so many free patterns that I absolutely love. This one in particular, though, was released in May of this year, 2024. And talk about a great stash buster. This uses fingering weight yarn, and it actually uses two different colors. So this is such a cute bandana with a really pretty color work pattern, and it's not too difficult. It's simple to work, and it's actually the ripple stitch slip stitch pattern. So that's mosaic knitting, and that's a great way to start out color work if you've not done it before, because you're only working with one color per row. Now, this is a triangle shaped mini shawl. Basically, it is mentioned as a bandana, but it's almost looks a little bit bigger than what I would consider as a bandana. And I just think that the color pairings and combinations you can come up with for this are so cute. The sample calls for 240 yards of your main color and 105 yards of your contrast color. So with fingering weight yarn, that's not even one full skein of either. Like I said, I think this is great to use up stash yarn. There's a lot of different options here. They use Diamond Lane Birdie, which is a fluffy yarn and so soft, and I think that would be really nice in here too. It's knit up on US 6 needles, so it's going to knit up fairly quickly, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. Another adorable accessory pattern is called Tiny Tassels, which is a pattern by Karen Fernandez. This says that it is available from Loop London, and it is a light fingering weight gauge on US 4 needles. It's another lovely triangle shaped mini shawl, and I think that this is just really a cute little option. It looks like it's a garter, so you're knitting flat and you're just knitting every roll, which is absolutely lovely. And then for a fun detail, you have these cute little tassels all along the edge. So that is a labor of love, adding tassels, but I think they're so cute and a great design element that can add interest. And you know, some people might hate it, but I get into a little groove when I'm putting tassels on. I just sort of make an assembly line and just go through it, and I use a crochet hook to pull my little strings through, and it is done before you know it. So I think this is cute. I think this would be an absolutely adorable pattern to wear as a scarf and add some fun interest to your outfit. Okay, another accessory I really like is the classic cabled hat and mittens. This is a pattern by Destiny Meyer, and I think it's just a lovely chunky cable pattern. It uses super bulky wool, so this is a great option even if you're, grabbing some yarn, some line brand yarn from Walmart. I know Walmart is accessible to a lot of people. That's where I first started buying my yarn from, and I can't tell you how many balls of the line brand super bulky yarn I have bought over the years. So I think that would be a great option for working up this pattern. And when you're done, you have a hat with a cute pom-pom, beautiful cables, and mittens that match. Also, absolutely great gift pattern. And I think it also tells you how to make a big fluffy pom-pom. So you're set here. This knits up on US 10.5 or 6.5 millimeter needles, and you only need about 232 yards. So this could be a very quick project that you get a lovely set from, and I think this would be great for gifts or for yourself, because I want this for myself. We can't forget about socks before we move on to garments. I think Stephen West makes some of the most interesting patterns. They're very engaging. They're very fun to knit, and that's no exception for the West Knits Simple Socks. This is a free pattern, and it calls for fingering weight yarn, US 1 needles, so it looks like your classic sock knitting gauge. And talk about a great stash buster. He shows you how to utilize some very fun color options here to get some extremely fun socks that you're gonna love looking at while you're knitting and looking at on your cute little tootsies. So this is a top-down sock pattern. You start with this ribbed cuff, looks like a 2x2 rib, and then you move down into a pretty basic sock that you can use all your scrap yarns to create lovely combos with. It even comes in 5 different sizes. So great pattern to add to your library and utilize for a basic sock pattern. Okay, next up, let's chat about a few vests that I have found. First of all is the Edgar slipover, which is from Joanna Garish, who is one of my top designers. I absolutely love everything that Joanna makes. And this is on the Hobie website. I believe the info it says is available in notes on how to get it for free as well. So this uses the Hobie Friends Kid Silk and Hobie Friends Extra Fine Merino, which lands you with a worsted weight gauge. So lots of different options, holding DK and mohair together, using a worsted weight held single, using a sport and a surrey together. There's just so many options here. But I love the V-neck. I love the beautiful details of the ribbing on the sides and the split at the hem. I think it's beautiful. I think the armholes with the ribbing detail that continues up is absolutely lovely as well, with a folded ribbed collar, V-neck again. And you have sizes extra small through 5XL. So this is absolutely beautiful. Possibilities are endless, and I believe that it also has the instructions on how to work a round neck as well if you prefer that instead of a V-neck, or you want to make one of each. You got multiple pattern options here. So this is a great one to add to your library. Okay, a pattern that I have made, and it was published in the Lana Magazine issue 18. This is a pattern that Melissa designed from Sonder Yarn Co., and it is called the Turtle Dove Cardigan. It's absolutely beautiful. I absolutely loved knitting this. I think this is awesome that she's made this available as a free download. So this is knit with 2 strands of mohair and 1 strand of fingering weight yarn, or you can do what I did and do 1 strand of surrey with 1 strand of fingering. And I was able to achieve gauge using that very easily. So this uses like a US 9 needle, a US 7 needle, and you have a buttonless sort of cocoon cardigan that's super cozy and has a very fun collar with sort of dolman-like sleeves almost. This is absolutely beautiful, and I think it is a lovely pattern to add to your library. Another cardigan that I have made is the Step by Step cardigan, which is a pattern by Florence Henderson. So I was able to test knit this pattern, and I absolutely loved it. This uses a worsted weight gauge, or let's see, it's a 16 stitch gauge, so worsted or Aran works well for this. And she and I both used Noro Madara for our samples, and This is a pay what you want pattern, so you can get this pattern for free. If you feel like you would like to pay for it, there is an option to pay $6, £6 for it. I'm sorry, not US dollars. So I think this pattern is really lovely. It's very clear. It's very simple. There's not a lot of extra. There's not, you know, it's not a wordy, heavy pattern. It is just very straightforward, easy to follow, and it comes with a step-by-step video on YouTube that you can follow along with. So if you're new to cardigan knitting, this is a great option to choose. Not only that though, if you've knit tons of cardigans, I like the fit of this. So I think this is a great pattern to have in your library either way. I did use the US 9 or 5.5 millimeter needles with the Nora Madar yarn, and I really like the gauge that I was able to get with this. You also have fun picking out 4 big buttons. So I think this is a very fun cardigan, and I do plan on making another one. A couple of very fun pullovers that I have found are, first of all, the Haze sweater, which is a pattern by Sophie from the Knit Pearl Girl. This is from the song Lavender Haze by Taylor Swift. So if you're a TS fan, then you definitely need to knit this. I absolutely love this beautiful colorwork sweater, and I think it's awesome that she has made this available for free. So it is a 20 stitch gauge, and she used Iztec Slit Lopi, which is an Aran weight. For myself, I would have a little bit of trouble getting a 20 stitch gauge with an Aran weight, but I could, you know, probably size down to a light worsted and use that. But I think that this is absolutely beautiful, and you have all the different color pairing options that I think are so cute with this. There's 148 projects on Ravelry, so get on and you can look at lots of different inspiration. And this is knit up with a 4.5 millimeter or a US 7 needle, so it's going to go fairly quickly. And I think it would be a very fun sweater to add to your wardrobe for this fall and winter. Okay, I also want to share about a whole little booklet of patterns that was released from Pom Pom and Hobbii. They did a little bit of a partnership after Pom Pom closed its doors. They did have quite a few patterns that were lined up to be released, and after they closed down, Hobbii, I guess, purchased the patterns and has released them for free. There's just quite a few really cute ones, but one I did want to share is the ruffle sleeved top. This comes in 9 different sizes, and it looks like it uses, I think, 3 different colors, but 2 of the colors you're not using a lot of yardage on. And they used the rainbow bamboo base. So this is, you know, not a super expensive yarn. There's quite a few pretty color choices. I actually think trying out the Hobbii bamboo base would be a lot of fun. And I love the ruffles on the sleeves. I love the vertical stripes. I think all that's very flattering. The V-neck shaping, the details of the color work. There's just so many little details in this pattern that I think make it shine and make it so much fun. I would absolutely love to knit that. So I did download that pattern from Hobbii website, and there's a whole slew of them. So I would make sure and check those out and download them while they are available for free. I don't know if they're always going to be free or not, but I would snag those up while they are. Another pattern I think is just so cute is the Sarah top. So this is published in Novita, and I just want to make sure it's available in English after I said that. Yes, so it is available in English, Finnish, and Swedish. But this comes in a DK weight gauge, which is 20 stitches, and it's knit on a US 6, but I think that it has a really fun texture, and I like the fact that it is reversible in the sense that you could put the buttons in the front or in the back, and I like the V-neck shaping. So this is really cute, and I think it would be a nice summer knit up in some cotton yarn. I know summer's almost over, but this would be great to keep in your library for future use. Okay, a beautiful color work pattern is the Saga cardigan, and it is just, it is just stunning. It reminds me of a Marie Wallen design. It's all over color work. It's just some lovely Fair Isle, which shouldn't be too difficult. And it comes in sizes XX small through 4XL. So it looks like it has a nice size range available from a free pattern. And the color work is just lovely. I think there's so many different fun options you could do with this. I think it's very classic. It reminds me of Anne of Green Gables, or, you know, walking out on the fjords in Frozen. I don't know. I think this is just really pretty and a lovely pattern. I would totally knit it. It calls for sport weight yarn. So I would definitely choose a woolly yarn that is going to hold the color work stitches together very well. All right, y'all, that is all I'm going to share for today. I hope that you found something that you would enjoy knitting on. And don't forget to click the link in my description to get 1 month free of Skillshare. All right, y'all, I hope you have a wonderful week of making, and happy knitting, y'all.